What's happening? It's your boy, the OG Bronc Nuts in the 719 West Broncos country. Are you guys sick and tired of being sick and tired of seeing the same crap every single weekend for the last 2.5 years? The Broncos go to New York today and absolutely just get throat stomped by the New York Jets. I can't even remember what the score was. We lost by 3 scores, a couple touchdowns, and bottom line is the game wasn't even close. What we have in Denver is probably the absolute best quarterback in the NFL when the other team is playing a prevent defense. Case has a really, a lot of high success moving the ball when the other team is playing soft coverage and prevent defense, letting everything happen in front of them. But the rest of the game, check down to the back, throwing short of the first down marker. We don't throw the ball down the field. I mean, how many times do you see quarterbacks just throw it up to their wide receivers? And a lot of times these wide receivers aren't even the best athletes, not like some of the ones we have here in Denver. And you either get a catch or you get a pass interference. We're not even throwing the ball down the damn field to give ourselves a chance of getting a pass interference. The Broncos were never in the game other than that first turnover that we got, converted into points, and that was the only time we had the lead in the game. It's just disappointing, to see the Broncos come off such a hard-fought effort in Denver against a very good football team on Monday night against the Chiefs, and then on a short week, fly out to New York. We get there on Saturday with the time change, play an early morning game. I don't know why we didn't get there on Friday. Vance says that he didn't want to disrupt our schedule by doing that. Disrupt our schedule and our habits. What habits? The losing habits that we have? And I know all of you want to know, what's my thoughts about Vance? Do I want to run him out of town? Do I want to go stick 54 sale signs in his yard tomorrow morning? Yeah, kinda, but now is not the right time to fire him. I think if I was running the Denver Broncos organization, I'm going to give him 1 more week, and I'm also going to give Case Keenum 1 more week, because to tell you the truth, I'd rather put in Chad Kelly and watch him throw 50 interceptions this year and let him develop and see what we really got going into the draft than to watch this same garbage check down, unsure of himself. I mean, Case Keenum in his press conference after the game says, I had guys wide open. I was looking at it on the iPad when I was on the sideline sitting on the bench, and I could see that they were open. I just didn't miss it. I just hesitated too much and didn't fire it. A lot of those sacks that happened to Case today were on him. I know it looks like our offensive line broke down, and it did. Bowles with another holding penalty. We have a couple pre-snap penalties. One time we broke the huddle with 12 men on the field. We burned a timeout, throwing a challenge flag on a play that I knew we had no chance to win. I see the same thing every single week. Penalties, mistakes, missed opportunities, maybe a bad call from the refs, bad coaching, pre-snap penalties, misuse management of the clock and timeouts, and they're costing us wins. I mean, you can tell that our coaching staff is completely, and Vance is in, let me tell you something, Vance Joseph is in way over his head. Way over his head. Last week, he comes out and he said, we against the Chiefs, we're running 7.5 as our average between Lindsey and Freeman running the football, although Booker's on the field for the most snaps. And after the game in the press conference and the whole week long, all we heard from Vance in his calm little voice was, Royce is just a good player. He just needs more opportunity. That's what it really comes down to. He just needs more opportunity. He got the ball 5 times today, Vance! 5! And still averaged 7.5 yards a carry. The guy's hard to tackle. We got it down 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line, and we don't even have our power back in there. We got Lindsey in there. This is what we drafted Freeman for. I don't understand why we would put such value in getting that guy and taking him at that high of a pick and saying, man, we can't believe we even got this guy to fall to us. Are you kidding me? We just got the all-time leading rusher in the history of the Oregon Ducks football program, and we're going to give him the ball 5 times a game after he's averaging 7.5 yards a carry? Joe Woods is a garbage defensive coordinator. I don't like our play calling. I don't think we take enough chances and shots down the field. I think we need some naked bootlegs. We got to get Case outside of the pocket. His passer rating's like 103 outside the pocket, and it's the worst in the NFL. It's horrible, terrible, despicable, and embarrassing inside the pocket. Case can't see a breakdown jailbreak blitz come and get out of the pocket just to extend the play and buy some time. And the one time in this game, they did bring 8 at us. We pick up the blitz and Case can't find anybody open and he takes a sack. I mean, it's just unbelievable how the Broncos are shooting themselves in the foot. And then what's really just annoying to me is that everybody in Broncos country, pretty much anybody who watches pro football, and damn sure Case Keenum knows that Courtland Sutton can jump out of the stadium. His vertical's ridiculous. He's a big, tall, physical player. And we've seen in the past weeks, Case Keenum short throw, underthrow some passes to him. And now, as we've seen in the preseason and the first couple games, chucking balls way out of the end zone that don't even give our guys a chance to even make a play or get a pass interference call. And, I mean, Case is just, he's choking. I don't know how any other way to put it. And he comes out in his press conference every week and says, you know, we're going to get better. I know we're going to do better. We're getting better. He said that today in his press conference. You know, we're getting better. Really, Case? Because we don't see that you're getting better. We see you getting worse. Vance Joseph said today that, you know, and it's the first time I ever saw any fire, any just agitation, any competitiveness, any mean streak in him in his press conference. And he couldn't wait to get off that stage and get away from those Denver reporters. I heard him say, you know, hey, this is just another week. This is a long season, and it's on to the next. And, you know, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to play the Rams, and I really feel good about our chances in that game. You feel good about our chances against an undefeated Rams team that has a running back 10 times better than the one we saw today, or any running back we've seen so far this year. Also a team that can score a lot of points that has a decent defense, and you feel good about it. Vance is on the hot seat. I wouldn't fire him tomorrow morning. If I was the GM, and I should be. I mean, I should be the GM of the Denver Broncos. I'd wait until Monday morning and let's just see what happens. But I don't think we're going to get any type of news. I'm going to give Vance one more game. And I'm also going to give Case one more game, because the reality is, man, I'd rather watch Chad Kelly come in and throw 50 interceptions this year and see what we got going into the draft next year, because this team ain't going nowhere. We are not going anywhere, because not only are we making personnel mistakes on the field, we're also making coaching mistakes. You know, on Vance in the press conferences, you know, players play and coaches coach. Deep, dude, deep. I'm glad you let us all into that, because we don't see our players being utilized the best we could use them, and we don't see our coaching staff, you know, making the right calls, getting good substitutions and getting good play calls. We got third and longs, so many third and longs. We got the number 1 rusher in the history of Oregon getting 5 carries after a whole week of him saying, no, Rice just needs the ball. He just needs more opportunities. Okay, where was it? And then come out and try to tell me, well, you know, coverage dictates a lot. I get it. I understand, Vance. I understand football. But coverage don't dictate giving a running back that's played well since the preseason 5 carries and letting a quarterback like Case Keenum, who's been a journeyman quarterback and a backup for the most of his life and his career in the NFL, have 51 pass attempts in this football game. Peyton Manning didn't even throw it 51 times. Tom Brady doesn't throw it 51 times. But we got number 4, our stump quarterback. You're going to try to win football games against an inferior football team throwing the ball 51 times? Man, the Broncos, they ain't going to do nothing this year. I mean, they're not. Like I said, I think we're still going to finish the year with 7 or 8 wins. And the thing is, I don't even know if we can get to that many. But this is substandard football for what we've been used to here, literally since the Bolin family took over this proud franchise. You know, there's a lot of people want to say, well, you know, you got lucky. You went out and you paid $100 million for a Super Bowl. No, we didn't. We paid $100 million for 5 straight AFC West trophies, 2 Lamar Hunt trophies, and 2 appearances in the Super Bowl and 1 Lombardi trophy. I would say that was a pretty good investment for $100 million. And don't get it twisted. It's not like, after the fact, it's real easy to say, oh, well, the Broncos just went and signed Peyton Manning. We took a gamble on Peyton Manning, whether anybody knew, if anybody even patted him on his back, if his spinal cord was going to fall apart. We took a big gamble and it paid off. And we'll probably do it again down the road. And for those of you out there saying, and even some of my own friends are saying this, Elway, needs to go. No, he doesn't. As far as I'm concerned, Elway can do any damn thing he wants in Denver. Guy went to a whole bunch of Super Bowls as a player, and he took his 2 as a GM. What do a lot of other teams get in their teams to the Super Bowl? They're not. They're not getting them there. Now, has Elway been bad at some of his first-round draft picks? Of course. I don't think Shane Ray's been a good first-round draft pick. Bowles hasn't been a good first-round draft pick. Roby just sucks. Getting beat, burned, torched, toasted on every single play. Not a great first-round draft pick. Who else do we got in there? Paxton Lynch, Tim Tebow, although I don't think that was Elway's pick. But yeah, have we missed on some players and missed on some quarterbacks? Yeah, I think we have. That's obvious. But I also think, you got to give him credit for picking up some people like Cortland Sutton and signing, some Chris Harris's and some Philip Lindsay's as undrafted free agents. We've done some good things as far as personnel on our roster, but we've missed on first-round draft picks. The only one that we really have is this last one, Chubb, and Chubb hasn't done a whole lot this year for us to go, wow, yeah, he's first-round talent. He's a rookie, he's learning, but, as of right now, it looks like it would have been better to pick Denzel Washington with the way that Roby's playing at the cornerback position. I thought we punted horrible. I thought our special teams coverage was horrible. There's really nothing about this game that I think we did well. I think that maybe if we had one player that I thought really is starting to shine, it's Cortland Sutton. And I really don't think we're utilizing the guy enough. And I don't think we're utilizing him right. This is a big, huge physical receiver. Let's throw the ball up to him. In training camp, they said there's no such thing as a 50-50 ball with Cortland Sutton. It's 60-40. Well, let's see it. Throw the freaking ball up to him on one-on-one situations. They had single high safety coverage several times in this game where Sutton was single down as a receiver, and we're not throwing the ball to him. We're just checking it down on 3rd and 8 to 2- and 3-yard dump-off passes because Case Keenum is either nervous in that pocket, he doesn't want to run out of the pocket, we don't have any trickery, some naked bootlegs to keep this defense honest, keep these linebackers from cheating on us, and I just think we're a little bit too predictable with our play calling, and it's easy to beat a team when they're like that. Now, look, I know that the defensive coverages that people play predict and dictate a lot of what your play calls are. I understand football, but I'm not going to get away from the fact that we have 2 running backs that really have a special talent here, and I just don't think that we're utilizing them the way we should be. There's no way if Bill Belichick was the coach of the Denver Broncos, we lose last week to the Chiefs. He would just find a way to get more creative to get us the win. And we wouldn't have got blown out today the way we did. And I just am tired of Vance. Well, we really had a good week of practice. We really did. We practiced hard. We came out in our pads. We had grass stains on our uniform when we were done with practice. We ain't trying to hear that anymore, Vance. You're on the hot seat, dude. And if you don't win this week, believe me, I've tried to like you. I've tried to say, hey, let's give Vance a chance because last year with our quarterback situation, we expected Paxton Lynch to make a big leap and win that starting job in training camp, and he didn't. So we didn't really give, Coach Vance Joseph the best ingredients to cook the dinner with. And, this year he went out and got himself the quarterback that he says he wanted and that Elway says he wanted, and nothing's changed. Does Case Keenum look any better than Trevor Siemian to you? Because he doesn't to me. And we saw it in the preseason. A couple games where he was hot and he looked nice, but offensive drives stalled out. Interceptions. How many balls did he throw in this game that should have been intercepted where the defensive back dropped the ball? The Broncos, have way too much talent on this team to be playing this bad. I mean, there's some bad teams in the NFL, and when you look up and down their roster, they got a bunch of no-names on it, and they've got players that just don't really have a wow factor. We've got 4 wide receivers that could start on almost every single NFL team in the league at some position, whether it was slot or out on the outside. We got 2 running backs averaging 6-7 yards a carry. We've got an offensive line that is not great, but it's workable, and a decent defense where we're weak at corner, we're definitely weak at middle linebacker, and really the fact of the matter is we didn't even get hardly any pressure on the quarterback today. I mean, we're getting blocked single by single guys. I mean, Gotsis and Wolf, no pressure up the middle. Von Miller was pretty much silent again. We didn't really hear Bradley Chubb's name called that much. Isaac Yiadom's not ready for the NFL. Bradley Roby was a good nickel corner. I knew at the beginning of the year, I said, you know what? Our weakest link, the guy that's got me the most worried is either Roby or Todd Davis. I think Todd Davis has played pretty good this year when he's been not hurt and he's been in there. But Roby, no. I mean, Roby's getting torched a lot. I mean, it's painfully obvious for everybody to see, and he's just got to play better. We don't cover punts this week very well. We didn't punt the ball very well. A lot of pre-snap penalties. It's hard to watch, man. It's embarrassing for this proud franchise who's only a couple of years removed from the Super Bowl and got some talented, experienced NFL players on our team. And, you know, the one time that Case decided late in the game to throw it up down the field to Demaryius Thomas and let him just go up and make a play, he makes a play and, you know, takes it on in for the score. And I just can't understand why we're not taking more shots like that and backing those linebackers and safeties away from the line so we can get a few more holes and open up some running lanes for Booker and Freeman and Lindsey. As a Broncos fan, man, this is really hard to watch, and I know it's hard for y'all to watch too, but look, I'm orange and blue through and through till the wheels come off, and even then I'm going to stay on the stagecoach. I appreciate all the real fans out there, the real, you know, diehard Broncos country, Bronco maniac fans that are going to stick with this team. This is, you know, look, when we're struggling, this is when the team needs you the most. I appreciate you all tuning in to my channel for not only my pregame videos, but my postgame videos. It means a lot to me. Your comments that you guys leave means a lot. It keeps me going, but I know it's hard for you guys to watch this as much as it's hard is for me to watch it. And, you know, last year I didn't have any fun watching the Broncos. I couldn't wait for the season to get over. And here we are in week 5 at 2-3, and I almost feel the exact same way. Now, that being said, this was a must-win game, and the reason it was a must-win game is because our team is not good enough to beat the Rams. Now, the Rams lost Talib, and they also lost Cooks and their Cooper Kupp, their other receiver today, to concussion protocol. So, you know, without 2 or 3, maybe even 4 of their best players, and they haven't been able to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, you know, there's an outside chance that we could beat these guys only because we're going to be playing at home. But the reality is I don't see any way that the Broncos are going to beat the Rams. But if they do beat the Rams, it kind of makes this loss where it's stomach because look, we were planning on being 3-3 if we beat the Jets anyway. So now it's all just flip-flop. We lose the Jets, now the Rams is a must-win game. And if we don't win the Rams game and we go to 2-4, I say it's time to bring in Chad Kelly, fire Vance Joseph, promote Bill Musgrave just as the interim head coach. I mean, I don't like him being a head coach. I didn't think he was a good offensive coordinator in Oakland, but I do think he's good with quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks. So I don't know what the solution is out there. I mean, when you say, oh, well, let's hire Vance. Okay, well, who are we going to go get? I mean, it's not like there's just a great head coaches sitting on their couch eating Cheetos on Sunday. They all got jobs already. Just a horrible day. Horrible team. Make too many mistakes. A coach that's uninspirational. Guys that are undisciplined. And we see the same old crap every single Sunday for the last 2.5 years. And it's time to make some radical changes. I mean, it's time to upset this apple cart and get this coaching staff flipped over. And, you know, we're going to have to find out what kind of quarterback we got in Chad Kelly to know whether do we need to push in all of our chips on a franchise type quarterback next year, or, you know, gamble with what we got with him in Case coming into camp. Who knows? But I know one thing, we ain't going to find out if we don't get him in the football game. And he can't be any worse than what we're watching right now. This is the OG Bronc Nuts. 719 West. Thanks to all you real fans tuning in to the OG Bronc Nuts channel, checking it out. I really appreciate all the comments and the views and the interaction that I have with all of you. And I'm not going nowhere. No matter how bad it gets, no matter if we lose the next 10 games in a row, I'm going to be right here before the game and right here after the game. I'll see you next time, suckers.